thinking about a new phone system, maybe one that gives your team more freedom, more flexibility, without sacrificing that all-important call quality.
Yeah, that's a common need.
Well, let's talk about DECT phones today. And just to be clear, we're talking DECT, DECT. These aren't your average home cordless phones. They're really built for business use.
Exactly. DECT, it stands for Digital Enhanced Cordless Telecommunications. Basically, you've got a wireless handset that talks to a base station.
Right.
And the big win, it lets you move around your workspace, your office, your shop floor, whatever it is, and stay connected with like really clear, secure calls.
Okay, so why should someone listening actually, care about this? If your job involves moving around a lot, maybe between desks, covering a big office space, maybe managing a warehouse or retail floor,
Then DECT phones have some pretty tangible benefits.
like what? What's the first big one?
I'd say mobility and flexibility, straight off. Imagine you're taking calls anywhere within your business premises. You could be in the stockroom, then walk to the front office, no problem.
I can see that being useful, especially maybe in retail or healthcare settings.
Definitely. Places where people are constantly on the move,
Mm.
you know, not stuck at one desk. DECT really enables that.
Okay. And what if a business is already using, say, voice over IP, often called VoIP, or maybe they have a PBX system? How do DECT phones fit into that picture?
They actually integrate really seamlessly most of the time. You get that clear, high-def audio quality.
Better than just using Wi-Fi calling on a mobile, maybe.
Often, yes, significantly. And look for DECT systems that support SIP. That's SIP, pronounced like you're taking a sip of water.
Mhm.
That's key for smooth VoIP compatibility. It's sort of the language they use to talk to each other effectively.
SIP for VoIP, got it. That sounds like it could avoid some technical headaches, maybe.
It really can. You're often dealing with less interference compared to standard Wi-Fi-based calling.
Interesting. What about the cost
Mm.
and setting it all up? Is it a huge investment?
Well, compared to wiring every single desk, DECT systems can be quite cost-effective. The setup is usually more straightforward.
Less wiring, I guess.
Exactly. And adding more handsets later as your business grows, it's typically simpler and pretty budget-friendly. Scalability is a real plus.
Okay, good to know. Now, security, always a big one. How secure are these DECT calls? Are people listening in?
That's a major strength of DECT, actually. The technology uses encryption, so it protects your calls from eavesdropping.
Okay.
Plus, they operate on their own dedicated frequencies, which is different from your Wi-Fi network. That tends to make them more reliable, too. Fewer dropped calls, less interference from, other wireless devices.
Reliability and security, definitely key points. So, all right, let's say a business owner listening is thinking, okay, this sounds interesting. What should they really consider before buying a DECT system?
Good question. First off, you really need to think about the size of your business space. How much area do you actually need to cover?
Right, coverage range.
Yeah. If you've got a larger office, or maybe multiple floors, or a big warehouse, you'll likely want to look into what are called multi-cell DECT networks. That lets you expand the coverage seamlessly.
Multi-cell for bigger areas. Makes sense. What else?
Compatibility is crucial. You need to make sure the DECT system you choose will actually work with your existing phone system, or, the one you plan to get.
Whether that's cloud-based or on-premise PBX.
Exactly. Check that compatibility. And having a centralized DECT base station is usually the way to go for managing multiple handsets efficiently. Keeps things tidy.
Okay, so let's kind of wrap this up. If you're weighing your options for a business phone system and, mobility is high on your list,
And you don't want to sacrifice called clarity or security.
then DECT cordless phones, especially integrated with VoIP using SIP or with your PBX, they seem like a really compelling option.
Yeah, I think so. They offer a robust alternative to just traditional wired phones or even sometimes unreliable Wi-Fi calling. It can be a significant asset, really, for businesses needing that reliable wireless communication.
It definitely gives you something to think about, doesn't it? How could this kind of mobile, clear, secure communication actually change the workflow day to day in your specific business? That's probably worth exploring.